Why be yourself when you can pretend to be an up-and-coming photojournalist, a power-hungry sociopathic megalomaniac,
Now your fit's getting abused because I can just jump off, bro.
or an e-celeb that has a funny catchphrase?
Anyways.
Film and TV, although being a lot more linear, is still a form of escapism.
Check this out.
Quarantine has had the movie industry suffering more than ever, even including the funny reverse film that was prophesized to bring people running back to the theaters, only to fail to even double its budget. Which is surprising because, like most people, I paid to see the film twice, thinking I'd be able to understand the dialogue on a second viewing.
One of these bullets is like forward 3 times.
You didn't make it. So where'd it come from?
With so many of us being stuck at home, theatres, for the most part, have been put to sleep. At least in the UK anyway, where in the year 2021, we still bravely pay for our telly licenses. New Zealand may have 0 cases, but at least we have fish and chips, football, and wife. And at home is where the lower budget films have boomed, with streaming platforms producing more content than ever for a monthly fee. Netflix has great shows that they never made, Amazon Video has great movies they never made, Hulu has Breaking Bad if Walter White left the meth business, and Disney has Breaking Bad if Gus Fring left the meth business. YouTube originals have also come onto the scene, and one franchise that's probably YouTube originals most popular is The Hairline Thinning, starring Logan Paul.
What is the premise of this movie? What is it all about? Who wants to take the lead on this?
Now, the original Thinning movie came out in 2016, and saying that like it was a while ago is unironically terrifying. Everyday Bro came out after The Thinning. Good God. That's the same year Mass Effect Andromeda came out, and both are pretty much on par with the facial animations. The Thinning was directed by Michael Gallagher, the same guy who directed the Smiley film I covered a few months ago. And as we all know, that film was filled with Oscar nominations.
Who's not our enemies? You don't get to be king of the internet assholes.
Be friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was apparently a YouTuber himself at one point, running the channel Totally Sketch, which has over 1 million subscribers. The main premise being sketch comedy, with the comedy being funny screaming.
Watch this right now.
Larry! And apparently, Michael's biggest fear is spiders. It's weird too because this film got a lot of nominations. I mean, it didn't win any of them, and to be fair, most of the nominations were from the streamies, so take from that what you will.
Such an amazing city full of arts, culture, and beautiful landmarks, of course. It's too bad, though, none of us are gonna ever see those because we're always stuck inside making videos.
Oh, that didn't age well. Also, if you enjoy me punching down at mediocre content, please consider subscribing. It's free, and only 99% of you watching are subscribed, which is honestly pathetic. If the green Minecraft stickman can get 18 million 5-year-olds to subscribe, then I deserve at least half of that. The opening text tells us that the world has been ravaged by overpopulation, and the UN now asks all countries to cut their population by 5% every year.
Why contain it?
In America, they've picked students as the choice group, giving them a standardized test once a year, with the lowest scoring students being executed. Cue title card. So, this only affects countries that are members of the UN. So basically, Palestine and the Vatican City are allowed to do whatever they want. Good to know. The film takes place in Austin, Texas, 18 hours before The Thinning, and apart from the brown filter in the skyline, making it look like a Breaking Bad scene in Mexico, everything looks normal. That's because the film's set after the mass culling has been normalized, so things have returned to normal for the most part, apart from the mass cullings. This basically means there was no need to spend extra budget making the world look more like a dystopia. Move over, Judge Dredd and your mega cities.
I'm innocent.
Justice comes at a price.
Remember what we talked about? Use the product rule to find the derivative.
I can't do this.
Hey, Crin, But
I like how the kid's just treating it like it's homework, you know, or something that isn't life or death.
I learn this by tomorrow. I'm totally fried.
Yes, you will be fried. On the electric chair. That's a good one. I'm funny. The boy, Simon, no connection to a lonely man in Sweden, offers a bribe to the girl and she gives him contact lenses that help him cheat the exam. Oh my god. This really is like standardized testing. I love all the useless info the lenses have as well. Like, what is anything on the right side meant to be? It just looks like it's Pong or something. The girl, Lena, is the main lead of the film. Well, apart from that one gentleman who's colorblind. And she's played by Peyton List, known for playing as Tori in Cobra Kai. The love interest in Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and Emma Ross in the Disney show Bunked. I've never watched Bunked, but from this 5-second clip, you can tell pretty much what the entire show's like.
We're just talking about my Aunt Earlene, who came here once to get out of town after she got caught stealing a recipe to enter a pie-making contest. And is this story making sense yet? Because I can keep it going.
Bruh.
Lena gets a call from her doctor telling her that her mother is trying to leave the hospital against her advice. So she'd rather spend the time she has left at home instead of the hospital.
You need to be here. They can't treat you at home. I know.
So we're given a pretty emotional opening here. I mean, nothing really to criticize. It's to the point. No sad music, and the delivery is brutally honest.
I think the best thing anyone can do now is to just keep her comfortable.
We cut to the governor's mansion 12 hours before the thinning. The governor of who, you may ask? Oh, there he is! The mother effing blueberry! This is Blake Redding, son of the governor, and he's a very naughty boy, sneaking out at night, jumping over a 3-foot-tall gate to meet with Ellie Harper. If she looks familiar, that's because she was frequently featured on Teens React. Her real name is Leah Marie Johnson. She is so famous, she has her own Wikipedia article, just like PewDiePie.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome!
Their chemistry even goes offset as well, where Logan accidentally insults her for eating food.
She's like, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go grab another cookie. And I was on my third day of the gym swing, and sometimes I say stuff like to convince myself I don't need food. And I was like you don't need a cookie. Not like
They sneak into someone's backyard to go skinny dipping. The perfect excuse for Logan to show his abs, as this was a requirement in the contract if he was ever going to appear in this film.
We're in this together.
Hey, Blake. You know, I think I do want something from the kitchen.
He gets brought back to his father, the governor, Dean Redding, played by Matthew Glade. I'm not too sure about any of the films he's been in, apart from starring in a Pulp Fiction parody film that has 3 stars on IMDb. It's not very good.
I have a sign on my back that says blow smoke up my ass.
You put another sign on the
Dean grills Logan. I'm not going to call him Blake the whole film. This is the guy who broke every plate within a 5-kilometer radius. You want to have that?
Thanks.
I'm not even sure what the point of this bit is. Like, maybe it's to show some food is super scarce compared to others. Or maybe he's literally just a man-child eating sweets. Secret box of his fire. He goes on to say Logan should stop seeing Ellie because she's a distraction.
The night before a life-altering test? Not the moment.
And honestly, seeing Logan quiet and reserved is really awkward. Even in real life, he's outspoken and a total extrovert, but seeing him act like he's, the intimidated person, it's really out of character for him. It wasn't even this bad in airplane mode.
Are you willing and capable to assist in the event of an emergency?
No! Not fucking God! Society!
Are you there tomorrow? Next week? Imagine you have the whole rest of your life to extract. Don't ever know.
I don't know if you guys noticed that, but they dubbed him saying the naughty word. Because, young adults being cool, totally fine. The naughty swear word.
No.
We cut to the morning, 3 hours before the thinning. And see, the campus, Vista Point High, has been converted into some kind of like half prison. Get it? Because that's how you feel at school. The thing is, it looks like these shots are filmed at the perimeter of an actual prison. So it wouldn't surprise me if they got the rights to the same prison where they filmed Beyond Scared Straight from. See students being checked before entering, and all the guards are wearing face gear. I understand the best way to dehumanize someone is by taking away their face, but I'm not sure why they all have to wear black eye makeup behind the mask as well. You know, it looks like some kind of cheap Batman cosplay. It's... really jarring because you can see teachers walking around with lanyards right next to Rainbow Six Siege operators. I get they're doing this normal mix of society and dystopia, but what, am I supposed to see someone in power armor that holds the door open for you? Simon, the kid from the beginning, not to be confused by a lowly Swedish man, is given a slight nudge, and I mean like a word level of nudging, causing him to jolt forwards and losing his contact lenses, and not being able to find them when someone with Rico in shoes walks over them. How brave. So the guard sounds changes, and it doesn't even sound intimidating.
Lockdown sequence. Yes, sir. Said you were quite the joker.
I had a Darth Vader mask as a kid, and the inbuilt voice changer, it sounds pretty much the same.
Take out the garbage.
And then Simon commits the worst offense of all, swearing in a YouTube video.
Bruh.
That's it. Tape it off. This is a biohazard. Give this guy a mature rating and make sure no sponsors touch him again. Because it's the big test and some people might not come out of this alive, it's time. Melodramatic slow-mo cam. Wow, look at that. Parents searching their children in slow motion. A bag being searched in slow motion. Do you feel emotion yet? Have a teacher put the ashes of the students on his face. Logan then tries to talk to someone of the opposite gender and fails miserably.
Lana, right?
Yeah, Lena.
Lena, sorry.
He wants Lena to give him one of the contact lenses to cheat the exam, but she's already gave the last one to Simon.
Oh, I didn't.
Lena is then joined by her friend, kind of flirty boyfriend, maybe. His name.
Well, it's almost as tragic as being in love with your best friend. No name. That's son.
How's today going?
Yeah, right. Tomorrow's actually better.
I feel the other students lining up perfectly represent the test audience when they were shown this interaction in the film. One of the students lining up gets scanned, and he gets caught with a bunch of answers scribbled on his arm. Pathetic. If you're gonna try and cheat, at least do it right.
And I basically cheated through all my exams, and I passed. If my school are watching this, if you try to sue me, try it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I can get you arrested.
Heading your way now.
Whoa. I've never seen Jimmy pass the guard before.
Helen, are you hacking into your dad's account again?
Yeah.
So, firstly, he didn't escape. He's made it about 100 yards, and there's still a giant fence in the way. Secondly, Helen isn't doing any Matrix-style hacking. He's just putting in his dad's email and password. I will give them this, though. The kid being captured is actually filmed from a different angle on Kellen's phone. Because it's so common in these films, when they film something on a phone, point footage on the studio camera. Also, when they go to hit him, look how flimsy their batteries are. You might as well just spray him with silly string. Inside the camera, it looks totally normal, apart from the wall being painted grey. Seriously, just make him look like a normal color. See Logan reunite with his girlfriend Ellie, and assures her everything will be fine. They lock down the school with shutters in case anyone tries to escape during the exam, because, you know, the guys with batons clearly can't do their thing.
Immense lockdown sequence.
I love as well how this is the only guard in the film with no gloves on, because they can't operate the touch screen with them on. They're introduced to the exam rules, no talking, no looking around, but then they throw this in for some reason.
And no matter how hard something looks,
chance of what? Dying?
Bruh.
Like, you see, half of the students here are terrified. You might as well put them in shotgun collars that explode if they get a question wrong. The test is 2 hours long, and we can see the tablets here. And how much of a pass rate do you actually need to not get caught? Getting one question wrong could give you a 75% pass rate. So can you only get one question wrong, or none at all?
Okay, here are the results.
And to add insult to injury, you get the results pretty much as soon as the test is completed. But instead of getting your scores, you're just named if you failed, you're taken away, like you've lost the Price's Right.
Touch!
No.
They also do this fake cop-out where you think the Kellen guy failed, mostly because he can't stop sweating the entire exam. But nope, it's Ellie instead. Only she revised instead of Skinny Dip. I know I should be looking at Ellie losing her life, but I just can't take my eyes off Logan Paul's bicep. Look at it hugging his tight shirt. I'm happy that his bicep was credited before Leah Marie Johnson. Logan, unhappy with being no-scoped, tries to call his dad to ask a favour. Call of Duty reference.
Dad, they took Ellie. She's going to the thinning.
Oh, God. I'm sorry, son.
We have to do something, Dad. Just make a phone call. You can say it was a mistake.
But you know I can't do that.
Logan is so angry, he nearly broke his iPhone 11 and tries to save Ellie by fighting against the system.
What are you doing? Get back in line! Put that down!
Ellie runs the complete opposite way of every other escapee because, you know, she needs more screen time. Runs into a bunch of GTA pedestrians and gets captured again anyway. But first, you're aboard a large vessel and someone dropped a jar in a lab and now everyone's infected. You're the last person alive and need to defend yourself. If I get some plywood for barricades, a laser for self-defense, and The Dark Knight on Blu-ray to pass the time, I should be okay. Oh, a merchant ship. Okay, maybe they can help me trade something I can use. You go to buy all the supplies you need, but there's one problem. When the ship got infected, it was 5 minutes before payday, so you don't have enough money to defend yourself. The merchant ship takes off, and you're left all alone with the monsters. If only I installed Honey on my browser, I could have avoided all of this.
Honey can save you loads of money by finding coupons and applying them to your checkout.
Congratulations, you won. Congratulations.
Oh no, it's totally free. It can be installed in 2 easy clicks. When you apply Honey with over 30,000 supported sites, wait a moment.
Enfagrow A+ Neura Pro dengan omega 3 dan 6 tertinggi, dukung belajar tanpa batas.
But as Honey tries to find the coupon codes, and you'll watch the prices drop, here are some satisfied customers. You can download Honey by going to joinhoney.com/pyro. Oh my God. Oh, security detail. I'm saved. I knew it. All I had to do was hold on just a little bit. The film cuts to a year later, exactly 24 hours before the next thinning. No time for world building, we have to watch students suffer. But not before a paid advertisement of Logan Paul topless again, completing his girlfriend death revenge workout. 3 hours before the thinning, and we can see kids being escorted to their first thinning exam. So this seems to be a thing people take every year, but it's not really clear when they stop. Do adults not have to take the exam anymore? Is there a boomer thinning? So this would mean all the adults are super intelligent as they've whittled down only the highest scoring people.
Bitch!
How many sides does a pentagon have? 5.
What causes disease?
Bacteria.
How many letters are in the alphabet?
26.
By the way, if what she's saying here sounds familiar, it's because it was plastered all over the promotional material for this film back in 2016.
How many sizes does Pentagon have?
5.
What causes disease?
Bacteria.
How many letters are in the alphabet?
26.
20 billion views, by the way. Literally inescapable. I'm not sure why she didn't give her sister the contacts to cheat. I mean, that was a really good plot point, and it's just never mentioned again. Maybe she'd cough and they'd fall out like the last guy. Logan's dad comes in to wish him luck, but you can tell their relationship has only gotten worse after Ellie died.
Blake, I wish there was something I could have done. But none of us are above the law. Not me, not you, not Ellie. That's a good line. You should use it in your speech today.
And then, The Thinning does something very brave no American film has ever done before. Mocking the British.
Oh, well, do I do this every day?
Hello? Do I look British? Do I look like a British person?
What the?
Out the way, bitches.
I like how the guy who pushed him looks like a scuffed Robert Pattinson too. And he exits the scene with the most pathetic parkour I've seen in my life. And just to make sure, like, you know he's an antagonistic character, he throws some random guy's phone for no reason. The kids watch an animation about why they take the thinning, basically explaining the world was uninhabitable from overpopulation. I like this animation. It gives a satirical take on how bad the situation is, even including the royalty, happy-free music you hear in Vanoss gaming videos.
Others only let mommies and daddies have one baby. In America, what if only the smartest boys and girls got to live here?
We also learn it's only people from 1st to 12th grade that are tested. So basically their entire society is based on hoping that if you do Russian roulette for 12 years straight, you'll hopefully come out a model citizen and make America proud. If you're not intelligent enough, you get punished, but illness out of your control is okay, I guess. Oh yeah, remember that douche character? He brought a football into the hall, just to remind you that he's a job. Meanwhile, in the governor's house, he's just found a tape from Logan saying he's going to purposely fail the exam to spite his father.
If you're watching this video, then I'm no longer alive. Today, I will be filling in enough incorrect answers to definitively fail my 10241 exam. My dad wants to stand by this system. He's gonna have to stand by a system that put his own son to death.
He can't reach Logan because the campus is on lockdown for the exam, so Chair goes smashy. Logan throwing the exam by picking every answer as D. Like, could you imagine the small chance that every answer was D and he just completely aces the test? Meanwhile, one of the kids asks for help with the test.
Yes, Nathan. I don't know this one. Can you help me? Oh. Sorry.
And my income is much more important than your life. The test is finished and we see the children and students being escorted out.
Sarah Foster.
If you're wondering why she got 5 more seconds of screen time than the other students being dragged away, that's because in a previous scene, she offered the teacher sexual favors, hoping he'd rig the test for her, but he didn't.
Betrayal.
We see Kellen worried about failing again. Yeah, we're not falling for the fake out twice in a row, buddy. Nice try. But what happens instead is Logan passes while the clever girl Lena fails. This is because in the previous scene, the head of security, Simon Mason, not to be confused with amazing role model Mason from Black Ops,
Stop acting like a baby.
got a call from Logan's father asking him to botch the test. So he swapped Logan's results with Lena's, literally sentencing an innocent person to death, by the way. What did you say 10 minutes ago?
I wish there was something I could have done. But none of us are above the law. Not me, not you.
Also, Lena's kid sister might have failed too, but who cares? She had like 7 seconds of screen time.
What's he say?
The transfer is complete. Everything is in order, Governor.
Mason, I appreciate your discretion.
As always, I need the word from you to make it official. Are we approved to commence the thing?
You are approved.
Yes, sir.
So, you ready? Time to sell the dream.
Lena's teacher tries to stop her, but security say that there's no mistake.
There's no mistake.
So she slips Lena something before she's taken away. The next scene is a party, and people seem to be in really high spirits. I mean, I get it, you avoided being killed, but you're telling me that no one here lost a friend or family member today? And finally, we found where 90% of the $1 million budget went.
Governor Dean, ready!
Thank you, Georgie. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. What a great day in Texas!
The governor gives a big speech about how crime rates are reduced, budget deficit, blah, 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 blah. We've all seen The Purge. We know, kill people good.
If you don't support our great society, then you are living off the system. That is a parasite. And do you know what we do with parasites? We wash them out!
Ooh, someone's been playing Bioshock recently.
I'm going for the Casey Neistat look.
Logan sneaks out to try and get some revenge, and seeing a 6'2" ripped man whimpering, calling the guard sir, I don't know, it just comes off as really awkward. Logan beats the guard with his baton, adding electric sound effects. Because I guess the Battens have those now. Back at the party, Kellen, the only person showing any kind of remorse, logs into his dad's account to view the cameras. Something that probably should be picked up by the security literally watching him on the cameras, but I guess it's never acknowledged. Logan manages to get into the security room, conveniently, just as Mason leaves it. Like, imagine if he didn't have to go to the toilet at that specific point. Anyway, he pulls out a bunch of...
We all need safe water. India's rapid urbanization led
wires, which leads the prop team to replace all the normal bulbs with red ones. So now we have $200 of budget left. And apparently this small box contained the electricity for everywhere in the entire complex, including the shackles for the failed students. Lena is able to escape, the thing her teacher gave her being an ID fob to get out of the room. Again, this wasn't planned, as Logan had no idea that that teacher was going to give Lena that fob. So if these two didn't come together by sheer coincidence, then this non-existent plan never would have worked.
What are they doing out of the chairs?
Some of the restraints shorted during the power outage, but we got it under control.
Have you done a head count?
Sir, the door's locked. There's no way they could have.
I've also just noticed how much of a Star Wars scene this looks like. You've got the dim red lighting, the voice changer that sounds like an off-brand Kylo Ren, and Mason, who in poor lighting, kind of looks like Kylo Ren.
You lost a student.
I don't know how she got out.
She.
Her name is Lena Michaels.
And where is she?
Lena, caught at a door she doesn't have access to, tries some of the worst lying I have seen in a movie.
It's about time. I called for you 10 minutes ago.
What?
I'm Miss Birch. I teach 10th to 12th grade.
Wait, why are you wearing...
I just saw a student go down that stairwell.
I just love how she did everything wrong here. Like, she could have used him to look the other way and try another corridor, you know, not jump on his back maybe. But don't worry, Logan Paul is here to overpower him. How could he have stood a chance with such huge biceps? Okay, I'm gonna, the bicep bit's dead. I'm gonna stop that now.
Blake?
Lauren, you failed the test?
It's Lena.
Oh my god, was that a reoccurring joke? They finally did it, guys. The thinning writing staff have knocked it out the park yet again with their Christopher Nolan tier writing.
Level 4 breach. Level 4 breach.
I don't think I've heard a less enthusiastic alarm sound in my entire life. Also, you know, you'd just be able to solve the runaway student thing in like 15 seconds if you gave any of these guards a gun, right? Oh no, Logan Paul's gonna hit me. Fire the Desert Eagle. Oh, now he's dead. Like, you'll allow culling of students, but no guns. It just doesn't make any sense. It's America. If you can't tell already, Lena is basically the new love interest for Logan for the rest of the film, using their experiences in the campus to strengthen their relationship. They even flirt a little bit offset.
I would say sweet. Peyton List is sweet.
There's even a compilation on YouTube of them being just so cute and wholesome. Oh boy, I hope nothing bad happens to her.
We need to find where they keep the tests.
What are you gonna do? Steal the answers for next week?
Excuse me?
You know, if you go side business. You're selling answers to desperate kids for money. Innocent kids are killed. And you found a
I don't even understand where this accusation came from. Logan was asking her at the start of the film for a way to cheat.
The first wave of missiles are about to be fired.
Now we're not allowed to film in there. No, I'm gonna do it anyways because I'm a savage. Yeah, alright, let me just show you. Anyways.
Also, she's not technically hurting anybody. She's saving people that would be killed. Unless, of course, it's a percentage of bottom-scoring students instead of a threshold. Then, yeah, okay, she's inadvertently punishing people who didn't buy the lens from her. Also, the money Lena made was used to pay for her mother's treatment. So, Logan feels a little bit bad.
I'm such a kid. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Thank you for making her day.
I made a severe.
I just always liked you, and I guess I was kind of jealous of that way.
You like me?
Like, past tense.
Literally so pointless. Yeah, my girlfriend was alive, past tense. Logan's dad is being grilled on national TV about the campus being shut longer than it needs to be.
We're getting word that the school is still under lockdown. The test should have ended hours ago. Parents are growing concerned, with no word as to whether or not their children are safe with us. What do you say to these concerned voters?
Well, while I don't have any immediate details on the incident, I can say that we do have the best team in the nation on site.
Logan and Lena still stuck in the vents until the vents do the thing that happens in pretty much every video game and movie. They collapse. I like how if you slow down the footage, it's obvious Logan just dived from a board and they added the debris as a green screen in post. Lena jumps in and inevitably saves him because without Logan Paul, the audience would realise that this is a daytime program on the Sci-Fi Channel.
What the hell is this? We passed the test. This is bullshit. I want to go home.
No one has told us anything. Are we just supposed to sit here indefinitely?
Nobody leaves this room until we get the all clear.
Don't tell me what to do. Do you have any idea who my parents are? I'm leaving.
Stay back!
I like how they talk like they have any kind of moral authority. Do you know who my parents are? And of course, they get aggressively beaten because that's exactly what a non-violent confrontation deserves. Back in the vents, Lena drops her fob that worked for her like at one door, so it's pretty much pointless anyway. But what this does do is force a tense scene where Lena might have got caught if the guard took more than 2 seconds to look into the vent. They break into a lab to get a makeshift magnet to get out of the lab. Not before Logan Paul gets jump scared. Guys, I have no idea who's going to win. The average build man wearing pounds of clothing slowing him down, or Logan Paul, the man who beat KSI and only lost because of a point difference. Yeah, of course, Logan wins, and takes the guy's clothes that seem to fit him perfectly.
Wait.
You take care of that. I'm going to the city.
Thank goodness this particular guard was 6'2" and had the exact same shoe size. Only problem is now, he'll get instantly spotted because he doesn't have any eye makeup. Meanwhile, Mason, getting bored of not actually contributing to the story, just goes complete Joker mode.
You got beat up by a girl.
No, sir. Well, yes, sir. It was 2 of them.
2 girls.
No, it was a male student. They got the jump on me. The other said she was a teacher.
They're now searching the teachers, and the one that helped Lena earlier on swipes another fob from the teacher who was doing sexual favors from students. At this point, just get a 3D printer and make copies of the key because, you know, Lena's going to keep losing them anyway. Lena eventually makes it into the server room and has to guess Mason King's password. One thing I do like here is that they actually use a plot point from earlier. Kellen has access to his dad's account so he can view all the cameras, so he can see what Mason typed into the keyboard. I mean, it's better than the gag about guessing the password and getting it right first time. Mason now knows that one of the teachers gave their key card to one of the students. So Lena's teacher, Mrs. Birch, dodged a bullet by yoinking the other teacher's fob. I mean, sure, this guy's going to get brutally beaten and probably killed, but he did also send girls to their deaths after getting favors, so justice? Lena gets the security footage of Mason putting in his password, and how you're able to make out anything of that is astounding. She also finds out that she did indeed pass the exam with 98%, but was marked as a fail anyway, as her score was swapped with Logan. And in an even bigger cope to defend his son, the governor single-handedly blames Lena for the whole school being shut down.
This
morning, approximately 11:45 a.m., Lena Michaels, a student at Vista Point High,
failed an exam. She then proceeded to attack several DPC officers, injuring 2 and tragically killing 2 others. Since then, the students have been moved to a safe place and are being protected under a watchful eye of our teachers until Ms. Michaels can be apprehended.
Lena ends the lockdown, so there's a signal available. So Kellen sends the footage of the student being beaten to the press, because hitting a passing student is worse than killing people that didn't pass an exam. That really says a lot about our society. Lena gets caught by a guard that's walking like a frog for some reason, and bumps into Mason.
Take her to the thinning.
This scene is so awkward. It's like he was trying to think of a snarky one-liner, but completely froze up. Come on, man. Play one Dead Rising game before you take a jump at the
You may now feed the bride.
I still love how the system of killing people is normalized, but one person gets failed dishonestly, and the whole world cries. What about people that have reading problems like dyslexia?
Well, then everyone loses their minds.
No one seems to have any headphones after these questions. The media get the false test scores from Kellen, who leaked them, and of course, like the real-life media, run it without verifying like it's complete fact.
Just moments ago, we received official documentation from inside the high school, revealing falsified test scores, possibly to favor or target specific students to evade or endure the thinning. Among those wrongfully accused of failing the exam, Lena Michaels received one of the highest scores in the school. Blake Redding, son of... Governor Dean Redding passed the exam despite having the lowest score at Vista Point High.
And this leaves the governor in a tight spot, because if he can't prove the thinning isn't corrupt, he'll lose his run for presidency.
There's one more.
No, please! No!
Well, for 5 more minutes of runtime, it's going to be a pretty conclusive move. So the governor calls Mason and tells him, no, you can't kill the children. Not because I want to change of power, because I then can't become president. But sir, we built our entire society up killing children. I know, but someone at CNN went and told, so now I look like a meanie. So calling off the thinning gives everyone an automatic pass. A pretty flawed system that you need this specific person to confirm or deny the thinning. Like, could you imagine he was just, you know, in the bath or something? Oops, I've dropped my phone. And if I don't answer, it's an automatic yes. Whatever. Sir, we just have confirmation your son threw the test a second time. God damn it. Give me another iPhone 11 now. But in a weird turn of events, all they actually did was swap Lena with Logan. So all the other students are still going to die. On top of that, they take random students who passed and kill them anyway. This gives the jock character you forgot about another 5 seconds to overact.
Whoa! Get off! Run! Bro, that's my throwing arm, bro! Do you know who I am?
The students get injected with needles that for some reason sound like they're drills in a dentist's office. And Logan's dad, in chat, completely lies about any involvement and just blames the man that he gave the order to.
Mr. King. As of tomorrow morning, I am appointing a special committee to fully investigate what happened at Vista Point. And if Mr. King is guilty, he will dearly pay for his unlawful actions.
He will pay, not death. That's for the children. He also goes on to say how his son is no different and he's not a hypocrite. And obvious lying aside, this sentence shows how flawed the thinning is.
As much as I love him, he's no different than any of your sons or daughters. I'm not a hypocrite.
The rich will always benefit more from the thinning. I get that's the point of the film, you know, society bad. But people with more money and more time will always be able to benefit more. Logan, if he cared, could have used the best tutors instead of, you know, dusting off library books. I just love how this guy is scummy enough to use his son as a talking point to show how good the system is. It's genius. All his dad did was reverse things to the way they were before you intervened. Only now, innocent people died, all because of you. We cut to Logan, who, surprise, surprise, is alive. The injection was just a sedative. Guys, I knew he was just being put to sleep. It's like No Country for Old Men. And we find out that the failed students aren't actually killed, but put to work underground to make iPads. Get it? Because they failed the exam, so now they're like second-class citizens because they're literally underground. Also, weird analogy to how underpaid people are making tech, by the way. Also, Ellie, Logan's, I guess, now ex, is alive now, but Logan already has feelings for Lena and vice versa, so, awkward? The film ends. Like, I genuinely watched the credits thinking there'd be like a post-credit sequence, but no, nothing. Overall, The Thinning is honestly quite disappointing. There's genuinely a good concept here, and I feel like they didn't delve near enough deep into it. I think they shot themselves in the foot by making the film take place only a day before The Thinning, so there's no real time for world building. We could have seen how society has changed. Maybe things are so perfect and sterile that it makes people slowly go insane. But we never look into this because we barely ever leave the campus. It's just an hour and 20 minutes of Logan Paul doing jump rope, filming his apology video, and diving into a pool. It's apparent that this was a passion project. I mean, everyone on set enjoyed making this film. It wasn't just for money. But I feel that, you know, it could have just been so much more. I'll be honest, I do enjoy Michael Gallagher's films. They're a guilty pleasure, and even though I come across as bitter, they're great films to watch with friends. Even though this isn't a great film. Bordering on so bad it's good, but not totally abysmal. But to be fair, I probably wouldn't have covered this if Logan Paul wasn't in it. Well, that's it. Pretty much all I wanted to say on the film.
You're welcome.
There is a sequel though, so depending on how this video does, I might cover it. Okay, you know what? Stretch goal. 19 billion views and I cover the sequel. That's fair, right? Okay, great, nice. Go back to quarantine.
Of the description. Now back to the review. Nicolas Cage's career was just starting to blossom. He was only 24 years old at the time, and you could tell that he desperately wanted to make it big in Hollywood. He conquers every single scene he's in. As soon as the camera's on, he just goes ballistic.
I couldn't think of a more horrible job if I wanted to. And you have to do it. You have to, or I'll fire you.
Of course, I'm talking about the movie Vampire's Kiss. It was considered a commercial flop upon release, but developed a cult over years. Kind of similar to Fight Club, except it's not an amazing movie. It's an okay movie with some really great memes. Nicolas Cage plays a character named Peter Love.